The Golden Globes return tonight, officially starting off award season, but after a boycott led to the show's hiatus last year, the big question tonight among who's going to win is who's planning to attend. With a preview, I want to bring in film critic Richard Krause. Hello there, Richard. Happy awards season.
Thank you. It's the kickoff. It's the big day.
It's the kickoff. Let's begin with the big motion picture categories of drama. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think if I was one of the producers of the movie Elvis, I'd be kicking back today and having a pretty relaxed day because I think of the big awards here, Best Actor, Best Picture, I think that Elvis is going to do really well. Top Gun Maverick could be the upsetter. It is the movie that really got people back into the theaters this year. It appealed to younger people. It got an audience who's a bit older, who weren't going to the movies during and just after the pandemic because they were feeling uncomfortable being in big crowds. Top Gun was the movie that got them back in theaters. And so I think the Globes will probably give Elvis the award, but if they're feeling sentimental about the entire business and the service that Top Gun did, that could be the spoiler. But for me, it's Elvis.
Okay, lots of heavy hitters in the director category this year. Who do you think will take the statue?
I think we're looking again at Elvis, at Baz Luhrmann. Will probably take this home. Elvis is a nicely directed movie that really brought a character who we thought that we all knew, Elvis Presley, to vivid life in a way that we haven't quite seen him before. Steven Spielberg could be the spoiler here for The Fabelmans. It's a movie all about the love of movies and finding that love and channeling it into something that is special and unique, and I think that might very much appeal to the Golden Globe voters. But for my money, I think Baz Luhrmann is going to be walking home with the award tonight.
So many amazing performances. Talk to us about the acting categories and who are your picks?
Well, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but Austin Butler for Best Actor, I think is kind of a lock. This was a role that he spent 3 years working on and just utterly transformed himself and really pushed beyond just being an impersonation into something that really presented a real character. Although it is a great field here, I would not be unhappy to see Bill Nye for Living, which is tremendous, or Brendan Fraser for The Whale take this, but I think it's probably going to be Austin Butler. I think for actress in a motion picture, I think we're looking at Cate Blanchett for the movie Tar. This is a film that's been getting a whole lot of love from the critics groups, and in a year where you've got some really phenomenal performances here from Olivia Colman in Empire of Light and Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans and Viola Davis in The Woman King, Tar and Cate Blanchett seem to be the front runner here for Best Actress in a Drama.
So you talk about Top Gun bringing people back to the theaters. What do the Golden Globes have to do to win the trust back of viewers?
Well, they have to put on a good show. I think what they've done by hiring Gerard Carmichael, who is an edgy, really talented, super funny comedian, but he walks his own walk. This is a guy that makes, I think, Ricky Gervais look kind of safe in his approach to comedy. Wow. So I'm very interested to see what happens here. I think that if they poke fun at themselves, if they don't take themselves too seriously, if they allow Gerard Carmichael to do his thing, which is to poke holes in the establishment, I think that we'll get a show that at least starts off with the right tone. People, I think, have been put off award shows because of the kind of sanctimonious tone that has been seeping through the last few years. And I think if they just come back, are slightly irreverent, and give us the Golden Globes of old, which was, kind of a slightly more relaxed version of the Academy Awards, and put on a good show, people will watch. How many is up in the air. I think people are curious to see what happens here, but after they took the year off last year and nobody really seemed to notice, I wonder what will happen this year. I'll be watching.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Brendan Fraser says he's not going to be there, though he might win for Whale. Tom Cruise gave his Golden Globes back, and Top Gun may steal the show, so just add to the drama.
Yep. And no, there's all these unpredictable elements. Brendan Fraser absolutely will not be there for reasons that have been well documented. He says he was abused by the former president of the Hollywood Foreign Press. So he will not be there for sure. Tom Cruise gave his awards back, so I don't imagine we'll be seeing him either. But if either of those films win, I really want to see how they handle it.